He left twice, then wanted me back. Am I the a-hole for moving on so quickly after my husband left me? I was 47 years old, and my husband and I had been married for 14 years. We didn't have children, and while we weren't as close as we used to be, we almost never fought. We enjoyed each other's company, got along with each other's families, and I honestly thought we were doing okay. Then we took a trip overseas to celebrate our anniversary. The night before our anniversary, he told me he wasn't happy in our marriage anymore, but claimed he didn't even know why. The next morning, I asked if I could see his phone. He refused. Then he admitted I'd find flirty messages with one or more women. He had made female friends through work and school, and he told me he thought there might be someone out there who was a better match for him. I told him I wasn't interested in a trial separation. In my mind, you can't fix a marriage by living apart. So if he wanted to leave, it would be final. He said he understood, but insisted it was something he had to do. After only 2 days of our anniversary trip, we canceled everything, flew home, and within hours he packed his things and left. 7 days later, he wanted to come back. I agreed to try marriage counseling. During counseling, he struggled to admit he'd had at least one emotional affair. I suspected it had become physical too, but I never had proof because he'd already deleted the messages, Snapchat conversations, and everything else. The counseling didn't help. He stayed defensive. He wasn't willing to truly work on the marriage. After only 4 weeks back together, he told me he was done trying to save our relationship. Again, he packed his belongings and left a second time. This time, he got an apartment and signed a 1-year lease. I was devastated. I had to take time off work and start individual counseling just to process what had happened. About a month later, I finally started feeling a little better. A few coworkers invited me out for drinks. There were 4 of us there, and one coworker I'd only ever met over Zoom, and I really connected. We started spending time together. A couple times a week turned into an incredible relationship. It happened faster than I expected, but it was healthy, supportive, and full of kindness. Even while dating him, I stayed in counseling because I was still grieving the end of my marriage while learning how to trust someone new. About 7 months after everything started, my ex suddenly decided he wanted to save our marriage again. I said no. The trust was gone. He had already walked away twice. He'd admitted to inappropriate relationships with other women, and I wasn't willing to build a future with someone who had hurt me that deeply. Instead of accepting that, he called me the a-hole for moving on too quickly. He said I'd started dating only about 6 weeks after he left, but I couldn't understand how I was the bad guy after everything he'd done. Make sure you follow for more videos posted daily. Here are some of the top comments. Commenter, he literally said there might be a better woman out there. He doesn't get to be upset that you found someone better after he walked away. Another commenter said, he expected you to stay single while he figured out what he wanted. Someone asked if we had divorced yet. At the time, I explained that our state required us to live separately for a full year before filing for divorce, so we simply had to wait. Another commenter summed it up perfectly. You were supposed to sit around crying while he did whatever he wanted until he decided to come back? Update. 5 months later. My ex and I officially finalized our divorce. We split everything equally, and I bought him out of the family home. Once the required separation period ended, the divorce itself was actually quick and easy. But something happened during the paperwork that shocked me. While he was actively seeing another woman, he asked if I was sure I wanted to go through with the divorce. He said he'd be willing to try again if I wanted. I told him no. Thankfully, he accepted my answer and didn't make the divorce any harder. As for the woman he was dating, I knew he'd known her before our separation. Whether he'd cheated with her or not no longer mattered to me. I genuinely wished them well. Meanwhile, my relationship kept getting stronger. My boyfriend was kind, loving, and an incredible communicator. We eventually moved in together. A few months later, we got engaged. Looking back, I realized something I never expected to feel. I was actually grateful my ex had cheated and left. Without all that heartbreak, I never would have found the happiness I had now. One commenter pointed out that even while dating someone else, my ex was still asking if I wanted him back. They said he always seemed to chase whatever he couldn't have. Another commenter predicted he'd probably reach out again once he realized I'd completely moved on. Final update. 20.5 months later, I'm happy to say I recently married my partner. We eloped in a private ceremony by the water at sunset. Afterward, we enjoyed a relaxing honeymoon on the West Coast before returning home. Life is wonderful. I have a loving husband who tells me and shows me every single day how much he loves me. The last 2.5 years have been the happiest years of my life. I've never felt more at peace. Ironically, I'll always be grateful my ex left. Without everything that happened, I wouldn't have the life or the relationship I have today. I haven't spoken to my ex in well over a year. I don't feel any need to. I've made peace with everything. One thing did surprise me, though. Several of my former in-laws, including my ex's grandmother, sent me heartfelt messages congratulating us on our wedding and wishing us happiness. One final commenter asked if I had married the same coworker from my original story. I happily replied, "Yes, it was the same coworker. We're just no longer coworkers anymore." So tell me, am I the a-hole?